Hi VC, it's Aaron with Alamera, and today I'm counting down my top 51 to 100 albums of the late 80s. I did a top 50 already, and I had requests to do the next 50. Now, when I was pulling records for this era, I pulled over 200. I have way over 100 more than the 100 I'm going to be showing that I like all of them a lot. So this next 50, there are some people that will actually like this 50 better than my original 50, I'm sure. And it's just awesome how much great music was out in this era, this late 80s era of hard rock and heavy metal. So, of course, on these videos, I'm only using albums that I own on vinyl. So some of my favorites aren't in here, like Testament, Practice What You Preach, and The New Order. Those two I don't have on vinyl, so they're not in. They would have been in the top 50 for sure, both of those. You know, a few others here and there. It's just what I have on vinyl. You know, and I had 250 at least, just hard rock and metal. So, you know, it was a big pool to pull from, and just such a great era of music. So I'm going to get started with number 100. At number 100, this is an amazing album. It's one of my very favorite all-instrumental albums. It's Surfing with the Alien from Joe Satriani. This is when I first got into Joe Satriani. I was hearing this record and Satch Boogie, all that stuff. Great instrumental album. I do like instrumental albums a lot, but a lot of them tend to sound alike. It's like they don't have a lot of variation. But that one there, I think, is probably my favorite of this era. At number 99, I've got Dr. Feelgood from Motley Crue. Great Motley Crue record. It has the best production of any Motley Crue record, for sure, up to this point. And to me, this album hasn't aged as well as the previous albums to it. It's probably my least favorite of the original 5. I think it's 5. 1, 2, yep. And but I really love it. It's just a couple of the songs on here, like when I'm hearing on CD or if I hear it on the radio, I skip by them because I've either heard them too much or they just have lost their feel to me. But I do love the song Dr. Feelgood. Slice of Your Pie is great. Rattlesnake Shake. I actually really like Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away. I think that's a great song. But some of the songs like Same Old Situation, for some reason, has never been one of my favorite Motley Crue songs. And every time I hear it, I skip it. That one, and even I really like Kickstart My Heart. When I first heard it, I thought it was just amazing. But the more I hear it, it's got that gimmicky guitar at the beginning, which kind of wears on me after a while. Even though the song's good, it's kind of been overplayed to me. But it's a really great album. Really good production. Sounds amazing. And Motley Crue at number 99. Number 98, I got Pretty Maids with Future World. Great Danish band, killer stuff. That title song, Future World, I've heard a million times. I still love it. But this whole album is really solid. Great album from this band. And I really love this band, but it's the only album I actually own by them. I need to get more because they're just really a solid band. Love Pretty Maids. Number 97, one of my favorite live albums ever, Dokken, Beast from the East. I absolutely love this album. It's a double record, which is perfect. George Lynch, amazing on guitar as always. And the band sounds really good on this. They, start off with Unchain the Night, Tooth and Nail. They have Dream Warriors on here, Kiss of Death and Mr. Scary on one side, which is really cool. It's got all their big hits. Ends with Walk Away, which I really love. So, killer live album there. At number 96, I've got Malaya Rage. This is a great lesser known record, but it's so catchy, really heavy, but still hooked. It's not thrash, but really good heavy metal. Great album here. I love this album, Malaya Rage. The more I hear it, the more I like it. Probably in 5 years from now, it'll be higher on the list. But I only got this about a year ago, so it's already climbed up into my top 100, which is really saying something. So, killer album here with Kill to Survive from Malaya Rage. Okay, at number 96, I've got Scream Bloody Gore, 95 I mean, from Death. Really good Death album. This is probably my favorite by them. I like them all. Now, I have a bunch of other Death albums that would have been just over the 100 mark, but this is a really good one here. Love Death to death. Okay, at number 95, I've got Lita. That's 94, sorry, 94. Lita Ford's album, great album here. It's got the Close Your Eyes Forever with Ozzy, which is really cool. Can't Catch Me, Back to the Cave, really solid album by Lita Ford. Under the Gun's a great song. And I know on tour, Eric Singer played drums with her. I don't know if he was on the actual album though. I'll check that. But really good album. You know, Kiss Me Deadly's on here. Great album from Lita. Okay, number 93, I've got the debut from Winger. I love this album, not as well as the third album, but I like this better than the second. But this is a great album. Madeline, I remember hearing for the first time, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I love the guitar work. Killer stuff on here. I mean, there's a couple songs that are a little overplayed, like Headed for a Heartbreak and 17. And the only weak spot on this album to me, though, is the cover of Purple Haze, which I've never really liked their version of that too much. But every other song on this is really solid. Really good album there. At number 92, I've got Fabulous Disaster from Exodus. Great album from them. Of course, you got the Toxic Waltz and Lowrider, the original Lowrider on here, which is cool. Really killer thrash album here, Exodus. Number 91. This album I like better than most people. OU812 from Van Halen. This here I really love a lot more than, it's not quite as good as 5150, but it's close. I like this. It's my second favorite with Hagar, actually. I really love this album. I love the song Black and Blue. I like all the songs on this. I think it's really solid. And it has actually aged pretty well. I listened to it the other day, and I was like, whoa, I was really getting into it. I think it's really good. OU812 at 91. At number 90, this is a kind of a really influential album here. Sorry. Power from Hell from Onslaught. Really killer metal, and of course on the back it says death metal, and it's kind of leaning towards death metal, but not quite. The vocals are a little more clean than the death metal, but just a killer record. If you've never heard Onslaught, check this album out. Power from Hell. Heavy stuff. Number 89, the debut from Sanctuary. This is Refuge Denied. Great album here. Dave Mustaine produced it back around the era of So Far, So Good, So What. And it's just a solid thrash album. I really love this thing. And this is another one that I'm more new to. I got like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's climbed up my list. It is so good. I've listened to it over a dozen times, and it gets better every time. They do a version of White Rabbit on here, the Jefferson Airplane song, which is really cool too. They actually do it pretty good. So killer thrash there. Love that. Sanctuary. And then at number 88, the full-length debut from Soundgarden, Ultra Mega OK. This album is so killer and heavy. It's like the start of grunge. Really killer stuff. I really love Beyond the Wheel. That's such a good song. Flowers, really good. It's just amazing. Chris Cornell, just amazing album. Head Injury is great. Love this album. Ultra Mega OK from Soundgarden. Number 87, the debut from EZO, Japanese metal band. Really killer stuff. Flashback Heart Attack, killer song. House of a Thousand Pleasures, Here It Comes. I love this album. Slightly better than their follow-up. I like this one just a little better, but their follow-up would have been just right outside my 100, because I love that one too. Great band. They're very underrated. Okay, at number, where am I at here? Number 86, I've got Alice in Hell from Annihilator. Another great hard rock thrash, kind of right in between band. Alice in Hell, I remember seeing that video. It's just killer stuff here. Burns like a buzzsaw blade. Great album from Annihilator. Need to get more of their stuff too, because I really like them. At number 85, I've got a really heavy album from Riot, Thundersteel. Great album from Riot. It's probably my second favorite Riot album, and this one's just solid. Heavy, maybe their heaviest album they did back from the 80s anyway, and it's really good. Love this album. Thundersteel, just every song's good on it. At number 84, I've got Skyscraper from David Lee Roth. Another very underrated album. You know, Just Like Paradise is a video. That's really cool. I love Hot Dog and a Shake. I like the title song. It's really different. Damn good. I just love the David Lee Roth's vocals on that. The bottom line, you know, Stand Up was really different too, but cool. Perfect Timing. I love this album. Not quite as well as Eat 'Em and Smile, or a couple of his later ones, but that's a really good album. Okay, number 83. I've got Under the Influence from Overkill. Amazing album, and thanks to JC, I have that box set, so I've been listening to a lot of Overkill. And Hello from the Gutter, I love that song so much. Into the Line, Drunken Wisdom, Brain Fade. This is a great, great thrash album. They're in my big 8 of thrash bands. I have a big 8 instead of a big 4, and Overkill's in there. And speaking of that, another band I love, Testament with The Legacy, my 3rd or 4th favorite Testament album, maybe 5th. I love this debut from them, though. It's really good. Amazing guitar work from Alex Skolnick, and just a great album. There's the back there. This is a repress, but it sounds pretty good. Love that album. At number 81, I've got the debut from Kingdom Come. I like this slightly better than their second album, but that's really close. And it easily could have made my top 100. But this one here, it's where I first heard them, and they had kind of that Led Zeppelin sound. They're not as much of Led Zeppelin clones as people say. I mean, they do have a little of that sound, but, Get It On is such a good song. What Love Can Be. Man, I love this album. It's such a good, underrated record from the 80s. And number 80 now, we've got this EP, and I believe it's the only thing they ever did. It's Horse London. I love this. It's really gritty, kind of biker metal, I guess you'd call it. Really different vocals, but once you get used to them, it's really good. I love this song, Good Day to Die. She Don't Care, Wheels in Motion. This is a great album. 6 songs is all, but it kicks you in the face and really good. And then at number 79, this is a really different record than that, but I love this one. This is Damals. And Damals are kind of a really glam sleaze band. Think Poison, but a little bit heavier and a little bit sleazier. And I like this better. Really good. 777 was a video. I remember seeing that. Destroy, French Quarter. Man, I love this album. Dress to Thrill. Killer stuff. At number 78, got The Cult with Sonic Temple. Now, I don't like this quite as much as Electric, but it's solid. Great album. This is where they really broke big with Firewoman. That song was all over the place. And Edie, Chow Baby, Sweet Soul Sister. Great album from this ultra killer band here, The Cult. Love The Cult. That is an awesome album. Okay, at number 77, I've got another one from Overkill. This is Taking Over, and this was my introduction to Overkill. First one I ever heard, and I've had the original version of this for a long time, so I've heard this a lot. Really killer album. Wrecking Crew, I love that. Deny the Cross, great album. Killer thrash band. And at number 76, awesome album here by a great band. This is Voivod with Nothing Face. Very unique band from Canada. They just have no one really sounds like Voivod, and they are just amazing. And I love their version of Astronomy Domine on here. That's really cool. But all the songs are good. Very intricate musicianship, kind of technical, kind of thrash, but kind of metal. They kind of are classless. They have their own thing, kind of. Really cool. This would be one I'd recommend to check out by them if you were just getting into Voivod. Okay, and at number 75, this is actually my favorite album by this artist, and I love his 70s output, but this album here, See If You Can't Lick 'Em, Lick 'Em from Ted Nugent, and this album kicks ass. The first song on it, Can't Live With 'Em, it's my favorite Ted Nugent song, hands down. I love it. But this whole album's really great. Fun Lover, Spread Your Wings, that's such a good song. This album is killer, very underrated. It's a lot of people don't really pay attention to this album because it was late 80s, but it's a great one. Okay, where am I at? Number 74. We've got Visual Lies from Lizzy Borden, and this is really, really a solid Lizzy Borden album. Now, he's got one of those unique voices, too, where it kind of turns you off at first, but then the more you hear it, you get into it, and either you love it or you hate it. And Me Against the World, that was probably I first heard Lizzy Borden, and I love that song. But this whole album is great. If I had Menace to Society, I would have put that in this list too, but I don't have that record. But this one here is awesome. Probably my second favorite Lizzy Borden album. Okay, we're at number 73, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Volume 1. Now this is the only, I don't have part 2, or it would have made it higher on my list, but this one's a great album too. This Halloween album, it's a perfect power metal, just killer stuff. If you like power metal, it's kind of like Iron Maiden-ish, but with higher soaring vocals kind of thing. Really cool stuff here. Halloween's great. Okay, at number, where am I at? Number 72. We got Cinderella with Long Cold Winter. Great follow-up to Night Songs. This is my third favorite Cinderella, though. I like Night Songs, then Heartbreak Station, then this. But this is a great album. Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone kind of is my least favorite song on here, even though a lot of people love that one. But I love the intro with all the bluesy guitar, Bad Seamstress Blues. That's really killer. Gypsy Road's good. You got my favorite stuff on here is like the end of the second side, Fire and Ice, Take Me Back. If you don't like it, it's really good. The title song is a great bluesy song. Killer album from Cinderella. Okay, at number 71, and thank you, JC, The Front. This one I didn't even know about a half a year ago, and it's already in my top 100 for this 3-year era of metal and hard rock. This is an amazing album. I love the song L'Emotion, so killer. Ritual's really killer. The song Pain. This album is just very unique and killer album. If you haven't heard it, check out The Front. Okay, at number 70, we've got DAD. That's Disneyland After Dark with No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims. Amazing American debut. I know they had a bunch of albums before this in Danish, but this is great. Sleeping My Day Away. That song was all over MTV. My favorite song is Rim of Hell. Love that song. ZCMI is great. Every song on Ill Will even. I love this album. And it's interesting, the bass player plays a 2-string bass on most of the stuff. It's kind of different. Okay, up next at number 69, we've got Reach for the Sky from Rat. And this is a great Rat album. I don't like it quite as much as their previous couple, but it's very solid. Killer Rat stuff. Way Cool Jr., of course, and I Want a Woman were the singles. But No Surprise and Bottom Line, What's It Gonna Be, those songs are so good. The deep tracks on this are amazing. Love Reach for the Sky. At number 68, we've got Social Intercourse and Smash Gladys. One of my favorite female singers ever, Sally Cato, is a singer of this, and I love this album. It's kind of a bluesy, hard rocking album. Really sleaze metal, I guess you'd call it, but from a female perspective, which is really cool. Songs are really cool on here. Eye of the Storm, Hard to Swallow, Legs Up. Yeah, Sermonette is great too. I love this album. There we go. There's a Smash Gladys. At number 67, we've got Boys in Heat from Brittany Fox. I like this almost as well as their debut, but not quite. This is a solid album. Standing in the Shadows was a single. They do my favorite version of Hair of the Dog, the Nazareth song. It's my favorite version ever is on this. I like it better than the Guns N' Roses version. Stevie is probably my favorite song on here, but every song on this is good. And Dream On's a good ballad. She's So Lonely. Every song is solid on this. This is a great record. At number 66, we've got Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinkin' Rich from Warrant, their debut. And I remember when I first heard this, I just fell in love with this album, hearing 32 Pennies and Down Boys and all that stuff. It's just so good. So Damn Pretty Should Be Against the Law is a great song. They have the huge hit with Heaven on here, but I actually like Sometimes She Cries a little better, the other ballad. But this is a really good, solid debut. Love that album. Number 65, we've got Once Bitten from Great White. This album rocks, and Rock Me is on it. And Rock Me Tonight, yeah, that's a great one. All Over Now, Lady Red Light's so good. Oh man, I love this album too. Save Your Love, pretty good ballad, but I'm usually on these, the ballads are my least favorite, but some of them really stick out. But yeah, this is a great album. Killer guitar work, great bluesy hard rock there. Okay, at number 64, we've got Big Game from White Lion. This is my third favorite White Lion. It's like I like the first one, the second one, then this. But they're all solid. Vito Bratta on the guitar is just a wizard of guitar. I love their version of Radar Love. I think it's amazing. The drumming on that is so killer. Little Fighter's really good. Living on the Edge, oh man. If My Mind Is Evil, love that song. This is a great album. And right there we got James Lomenzo, who's played on a few Megadeth records. And also Greg D'Angelo, the drummer, has been on some Megadeth. So got a Megadeth connection to White Lion. Okay, up next at number 63, we've got Trash from Alice Cooper. Another great Alice Cooper record. This 3 albums in a row he had: Constrictor, Raise Your Fist and Yell, and Trash. That's my favorite 3 Alice Cooper records. I love them to death. Bed of Nails, that's such a good song. Hell is Living Without You, Why Trust You, House on Fire, Only My Heart Talking. This is such a good record. And it had the huge hit Poison on it, but on that Spark in the Dark. What a great album. This is a great Alice Cooper record, Trash. Number 62, one of my favorites, Turn of the Screw from Dirty Looks. They are just like a cool AC/DC-ish, but a little heavier, a little sleazier band. And just amazing stuff on here. The title song, Nobody Rides for Free, Take What You Get. I love that song. Love Screams. Wow, what a great record. Dirty Looks, Turn of the Screw. Number 61, we've got Love Is for Suckers from Twisted Sister. This is very underrated. I love this album. Wake Up the Sleeping Giant, the first song's one of my favorite Twisted Sister songs. Hot Love was the video, kind of a really commercial but good. Got the title song, Love Is for Suckers, it's killer. Oh man, Me and the Boys, I Want This Night to Last Forever, it's a pretty good ballad. Yeah, Right, finishes with that. Killer record from Twisted Sister, very underrated. Okay, coming in at number 60, we got Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone with Children of Madness. Love this album too. This is my favorite Paul Di'Anno Battle Zone record. Every song is good on this. I love the metal tears. Oh man, the title song's great. Rip It Up. I Don't Want to Know was the video. I remember seeing it on MTV. Great album here from Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone. Okay, at number 59, we've got Wasp with Live in the Raw. Their first live album, full live album, but the only drawback to me on this is it should have been a double record, because these songs sound almost better than the studio versions. A lot of them do. Starts with Inside the Electric Circus and I Don't Need No Doctor. It goes into Love Machine and Wild Child, 9-5 Nasty, Sleeping in the Fire. Wow. Then it's got a couple new songs on here. Called, one of them's The Manimal, the other's Harder, Faster. And it's got one studio track, Scream Until You Like It, which was from Ghoulies 2. But this is a great live album. It would have made my top 20 if this was a double record. I love it that much. Killer stuff. Okay, number 58, I got Vinnie Vincent Invasion with All Systems Go. This is the debut of Mark Slaughter. Of course, still got Dana Strum on the bass and Bobby Rock on the drums. And killer record. I don't like it quite as much as the debut because it was so unique. But there's some great stuff on here. Let Freedom Rock is killer. Burn. I love the song Love Kills, which was on, I think, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 maybe, or 3, one of those. The title, it was the song for that. But this is a great album from the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. At number 57, one of my favorite live albums, another one. Tribute, Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads Tribute. And this is just a solid, amazing record. It's where really a lot of people got to know Randy Rhoads a lot better. And, it's got mainly stuff from the first 2 Ozzy albums. Also has a few Black Sabbath songs like Iron Man, Children of the Grave, and Paranoid. And D is really cool. I like that. But what an amazing live record. Okay, number 56, we've got Kix with Blow My Fuse. My second favorite Kix record after Midnight Dynamite. And this one's just killer. Cold Blood. Probably their biggest hit they ever had. Well, or Don't Close Your Eyes. Those 2 from here were huge. But this title song, Blow My Fuse, I love that. Get It While It's Hot, No Ring Around Rosie. Solid album from Kix. Very good. Okay, at number 55, we've got Warlock with Triumphant Agony. Doro Pesch, of course, the lead singer. All We Are. I mean, me and my friends were singing that song along with it for years. But this whole album's great. I Rule the Ruins, Kiss of Death, East Meets West, that's a great one. Doro Pesch, great vocals on this, and killer musicianship. Warlock is kind of like the sister group to Accept, is what I consider them. Those 2 German bands, 2 of my very favorite German bands from the 80s. So killer, Warlock. Okay, at number 54, we got Lies from Guns N' Roses. Now, the first side of this is an EP they did, a live EP. And then the second side is acoustic. And I love the acoustic side even more than the other stuff. I really love, used to love her on here. One in a Millions. Got one of the best acoustic guitar solos ever. I love that. You're Crazy is really cool on here. Patience was a big hit, probably my least favorite. But this is a killer record all the way through. sometimes I like this better than Appetite for Destruction, even. I love that record. But not quite. You know, Appetite's its own thing. Okay, at number 53, we've got Second Sighting from Fraley's Comet. The second full-length record from Fraley's Comet, and it's really good. It's not quite as good as their debut or Trouble Walking, which came after, which was Ace Frehley solo. But I love the song Insane, Dancing with Danger. All the Ace Frehley songs on here really stand out. Juvenile Delinquent, Separate's one of my favorite Ace songs. And the Todd Howard songs are strong too. It's Over Now was a single, really cool song. Fallen Angel, good stuff here from Fraley's Comet. Love this album. Okay, at number, almost there, 52, we've got South of Heaven from Slayer, my favorite Slayer album. I love this record. I can't believe it didn't crack my top 50, but there's so much good stuff. But this one, you know, the title song, you got Mandatory Suicide, Ghosts of War, wow, Spill the Blood, Dissident Aggressor, which is a Priest song. Very cool stuff. Slayer at number 52. So I'm going to end up with number 51. This album here could have easily made my top 20 of the other one, but there's just so much good stuff. Louder Than Love from Soundgarden. Absolutely love this record. It's their second full-length record where they really got going. And, you know, every song's good on this. Gun is so good. Hands All Over. Loud Love, of course. Big Dumb Sex, which Guns N' Roses covered on the Spaghetti Incident. But great album from Soundgarden. Amazing stuff there. And there we go. That's my 51 through 100 of 1987 to 1989 hard rock heavy metal stuff I own on vinyl. And I know that's not everyone's favorite, but seriously, I've got almost 200 more besides this 100, and I like them all. So, all right, everybody, I'll see you next time, and I'm going to get going on the 90s. I think I'm going to have to split that in half, early 90s, late 90s, but I don't know. I'll see when I get into it. All right, everyone, have a great one. I'll see you later.